Today is all things Los Angeles Rams. The ball is on the 25, and it is 1st and 10. Welcome back to the show. Today, we got an awesome one for y'all. It's going to be all things Los Angeles Rams. As I just mentioned, we're going to go back and review 2024 and then project into 2025 and that whole season, go game by game and predict the whole thing. But before we do that, Metro, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing good. As you mentioned, all things today, LA Rams and more. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. And you want to start us off?
Yeah, man. Let's go back. Hop in the time machine, go back to 2024, and review this Rams record. Where did they stand? How did they perform? In 2024 in the NFC West, they were 10-7, making the playoffs, just barely getting in there. For points scored, they ranked 20th in the league with 367. And then on defense for points allowed, they ranked right in the middle at 17 with 386 of those points defensively. Now, their last game they played was against the Philadelphia Eagles on January 19th. They lost 28-22 in the snow to Saquon Barkley. And hey, can you blame them? That is a hard feat to overcome for any team in the NFL. And damn, 20-22, they were damn close to doing it as well. In summary, this team was good, just not good enough to get over the hump, but they fought to the very end. Metro, you got some more advanced analytics for me.
Yeah, I have some bigger numbers. Before I get to that, though, I do want to mention this team was killed with injuries to start the year off. They start the year off 4-1, and then down after week 7, they only lost 3 games. So this was a team that really put it together in the second half when they finally got healthy and didn't have to deal with all the injuries. But in terms of some broader numbers, 19th in points per game, 14th in yards per game, 17th in touchdowns per game. We'll go into a bit more detail why these numbers aren't spectacular. They were a little bit below average against the run, 103.5 rush yards a game, which was a 23rd in the NFL. Passing the football around top 15 in most statistics. Defensively, 15th in opponents' points per game, 24th in opponents' yards per game, and 17th in opponents' touchdowns per game. They are very good on the red zone and pretty solid on 4th down. Against the run, could use some work. That was definitely where teams went after them a little bit defensively, but they still got the job done. And in terms as a pass defense, they were pretty darn good. I want to reiterate, though, I don't think those numbers really matter too much. I expect all those numbers to be greatly improved upon in this upcoming season. This was a team that was just dealing with a bunch of injuries last year, especially to start the season off. So I'm not too worried about it. I think they'll bounce back in a big way and start the year off in a better light. Stay healthy, and they'll be fine. So those numbers aren't spectacular, especially when you compare that to like a Philadelphia or some of these other top contenders. But I don't read too much into those numbers.
Very nice. Fantastic summary, Metro. Anything else you want to cover on 2024 before we go into the free agency period and go through every single one of their moves?
I mean, everybody that's talking about the Rams and why they are title contenders is, of course, bringing up the divisional round where they were like neck and neck with Philadelphia in the snow in tough conditions. They held in there. They did not get blown out. They actually had a chance to win the game late. Jalen Carter sack. I think they don't convert the 4th down, and the game's over. So, you win that game, you're probably the favorites to win the title that year or last year. And I think they would have gave the Chiefs a run for their money. So, very interesting debate here to be had about what would have happened if the Rams would have somehow pulled the win off there. But as we head into this upcoming season, I think there's a lot to look forward to. I don't know what I just said.
No, you did a great job.
Down.
No, you did a fantastic job. Better than I could ever do, man. I understood that completely. Let's go into their 2025 free agency period. Like Metro mentioned, they retooled and not rebuilt, but they reloaded their weapons and they're ready to go. The Rams in free agency made some damn moves. To highlight, let's talk about the big names. Wide receiver Devontae Adams. This man got a 2-year, $48 million deal. That should bring some firepower to the offensive weapons on that side of the ball. Next, they got the defensive interior, Poona Ford, 3 years, $30 million. And guys, that doesn't sound like a world beater deal, but that's a pretty healthy contract for both the team and Poona, and that helps a lot on 1st and 2nd down for the team, and that allows your pass rushers to get the hell after it on 3rd down. I love the move. That's good. That's a great football signing. Maybe not best for the press, but for good football moves, Poona Ford was an awesome move. Top 10 in the NFL in my eyes. And then for highlights, they re-signed tackle Alaric Jackson, 3 years, $57 million. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, 1 year, $11 million. Had to mention it. Wide receiver Tutu Atwell to a 1-year deal for $10 million. They restructured Matthew Stafford. I think, who was it? Was it Tom Brady that flew Matthew out to his little ski cabin? Kind of weird if you ask me, but didn't get a deal done, and he ended up signing back with the Rams. They released Cooper Kupp, and of course they traded Jonah Jackson to the Bears. The Rams were busy as shit this offseason, and I would say they came out winning on the other side of it. Metro, how would you analyze this? What was the best value in this free agency period in your eyes, and what would you grade this from 1 to 10?
I think it was a very successful offseason. The biggest storyline that they had was, can they get a deal worked out with Matthew Stafford for the long term because of all the question marks of, will he go to New York? Will he go to Las Vegas? What's going to go on with his deal? Is he just going to retire? Retaining him for another year, maybe hopefully 2 to 3 more years, was great stuff there. I think the best value was for Poona Ford. I think Poona Ford is just a very underrated player. He doesn't look like it. He's 5'11", 310 pounds, but the dude can absolutely play. Via PFF, 85.1 overall grade, which is the 5th highest among all defensive interiors. Solid against the run, really solid against the run, 78.8, which is the 6th best, and a decent against the pass as well. So we can do a multitude of things. Don't expect 85.1 again, because that was kind of an outlier for his career. Most of the time he's been around the 60 to 70 range. He did get to 81 in 2020, but again, don't expect it. He's still a great player, though. Gets the job done. He's a veteran. I like to say it, he's been there, he's done that. And this team needed a big dude up the middle to plug some holes, and they got it. And then, of course, you got to talk about Davante Adams, man. Is there a better wide receiver 2 in the NFL? I don't think so. I think Davante Adams is a great player. I think he could be a wide receiver 1 for a lot of teams. And 2 years, 46, you get a hungry dude that wants to win his first title. You got to put him up with Matthew Stafford, and he gets to play that Odell Beckham role and probably will exceed Odell Beckham. Cooper Kupp's now gone, which is unfortunate. Obviously, the connection between Stafford and Kupp was great in their title run, but injuries unfortunately happened, and they needed to go into a different direction. And I think they made the right decision by bringing in Davante Adams over Cooper Kupp. So, in general, I thought they did a great job, and they didn't lose anybody. I think the only person they lost was the trade with Jonah Jackson, and that one's fine because you have guys who can fill those roles. Alaric Jackson, I think, was a free agent, but you retained him. So really your only losses were Cooper Kupp, and you replaced him totally fine, and Jonah Jackson, but you have guys who can replace him. The defense is, I think, the exact same, plus Poona Ford. So, yeah, hats off to them. I think they did a great job in terms of free agency, navigating it. This is an all-in team. They are going for it. So if I was to give it a score from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 9. My only knock is they didn't make the move for Jalen Ramsey. That was the one thing I was really, really pressing for. I thought Jalen Ramsey would have been a perfect fit here. But, no, I think outside of that, this is a really solid offseason. It took them from a team that was really close last year to now I truly do believe they're one of the favorites to win it this year, which, spoiler alert, but we all knew that.
We all knew that. The Rams are going to be freakishly good this year. And before we go into their 2025 season, let's talk about their draft picks from 2025. Here they are. They had no first-round pick, but we had our second. Actually, they traded out of the first round, didn't they? They went back to get Terrace Ferguson. They went with Atlanta, correct? Because Atlanta wanted James Pierce Jr.?
Yes, I think they – was it the –
because they got Javon Walker, then they got James Pierce, right?
I think it was because the Giants traded with who did they trade with?
Giants traded with Texans?
Okay, yeah. It was with the Falcons. The Rams trade pick 26 and 101 to the Falcons, and in return, of course, this website, it does. They get the 2nd-round pick and a 7th-round pick and a 2026 first, which Oof. Can we start off with that? Let's start off with the trade first before we get to any players. This was an absolute robbery, in plain daylight. This was an absolute robbery. To get a 1st and a 2nd-round pick in return to move back a few spots. And by the way, this was a draft class where the top 10-ish guys were really good, but everyone from pick 11 to 50 was really, really close. So you got an additional 1st-round pick in what looks to be an awesome 2026 draft class from a team in Atlanta that very well may not make the playoffs. You're going to have 2 first-round picks. And you want to know what's going to happen next year at the quarterback position? Stafford might retire, and you're going to have 2 first-round picks to trade up and go take Arch, Garrett, Lenoris, Drew Aller. And if you follow the podcast, which, by the way, subscribe down below, you guys know we are Sean McVay fans, to say the least. We love this guy. We think this guy can turn piles of poop into diamonds. This dude can do whatever you need him to do. And you give him a quarterback, which I guess I'll just ask you right now, which quarterback in next year's class, not named Arch Manning, we all know it's Arch, who would be the best fit for what Sean McVay does? And I'll even throw this at you.
Hit me.
Maybe there's a guy in the NFL that needs a new little location, aka former fourth overall pick, Anthony Richardson. Just saying. If you know me, I'm a Richardson guy. Think he'd be great with Sean McVay. Just saying. But which quarterback in next year's class do you think is the best fit with Sean McVay?
I feel really good about Garrett Nussmeier's stock. Cade Klubnik is my favorite quarterback today going into the season. Don't get me wrong, but Garrett Nussmeier would mesh
I love the fit.
really well with this team and Sean McVay. What are your thoughts on that, King? You can be
I
honest.
agree with
I don't
you.
mind.
It was Nussmeier. If you want like just a gunslinging quarterback, kind of like a Matthew Stafford almost. If he can be 70% of Matthew, that's great. He's probably a Hall of Famer at that point. But the other guy was Cade Klubnik because I just think he's mechanically so sound, and there wouldn't be a lot of development there. He'd be like a plug-and-play starter, and he'd be great. Drew Aller's an interesting one. I think
Drew would be sweet.
Yeah, I think he has the arm talent. I think he has the potential. My thing is this, though. I think what this team needs in 2026 is I do think they're going to take a quarterback next year, whether Stafford retires or not. They have the assets to do so. I think they need to find a guy who could instantly play. They don't need a developmental piece like a Lenoris, as awesome as that would be if Lenoris could develop with McVay. They don't really need that. They need a guy who could step in day one and put on some great tape. Arch Manning is the clear go-to number one guy. If he has the year we think he will, then that's great. But probably I'm thinking Garrett. I think right now would be my number one. He just feels something about the guy. Maybe it's because he wears yellow already, but he just feels like an LA Ram to me.
He's ready, man. He's been in the system for a while. He could have gone to the draft this year, to be honest, but he's getting another year under his belt. The team got better at wide receiver. I'm looking forward to the year they're going to have. This LSU team should be in the playoffs. Watch out if he makes a run. You may find him on the Rams. Maybe the Rams can't even get him because he's so damn high on the board. Anything else you want to mention on that trade? Because that trade was absolute robbery and such a good move on draft day.
No, I don't have anything else to say, but, again, getting a first-round pick on this specific draft. And, by the way, they took a guy in round 2 that I feel like they would have just taken him in round 1, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think they would have got fancy. I think they would have said, okay, Terrence Ferguson at, 26, 25? Yeah, why not? I think it would have been silly, but why not? Let's talk about Terrence Ferguson. I love this guy.
Let's do it, man. Let's go line by line, then to each player individually. Here are all the draft picks of 2025. Second round, 14th pick in that round. We got Terrence Ferguson, as Metro just mentioned, tight end out of Oregon. Third round, we got Josiah Stewart, the Michigan edge rusher. Fourth round, Jarquez Hunter, the Auburn running back. Fifth round, we got Ty Hamilton, the Ohio State D tackle. Fifth round, Chris Paul Jr., known as the basketball player. This guy plays linebacker for Ole Miss. Seventh round, we got Kenoda Mumfield, the Pittsburgh wide receiver. This is your 2025 class. And as Metro mentioned, let's start with Terrence Ferguson. Terrence was at the Senior Bowl, so Unk here, as in me, was at the Senior Bowl as well. And I was watching Terrence move, and I was like, damn, this guy's kind of nice with the football, man. He's doing well. He's getting open. He's moving well for his size, which is 6'5", 247. He's also a pretty decent blocker as well. He is a perfect, man. A tight end's got to be like an aquatic mammal, man. They are amphibians. They do it all. He can do that at tight end in the slot, with his hand in the dirt, whatever you need. He ran a 4.63 at the combine. He can run, he can get open, and he can block. That's called a picture-perfect tight end. And they took him in the second round. Some may say that's rich. I do not. Metro, what would you grade this first pick on the board for the Rams from, and just on a regular grade, A, B, C, D, F, or get out of the house? What are you thinking?
Look, I didn't think he was a day 2 or a round 2 pick. I thought, late round 2, early round 3, this was a team that needed a tight end quite badly. And unfortunately, the board kind of fell off a cliff after Warren and Loveland. Like there was Gunnar Helm. No, probably not round 2. You had Elijah Arroyo. I was not a fan of Arroyo. I didn't mind Terrence Ferguson going there, to be honest with you. You pair him up with Tyler Higbee. He's got great size, length. I think he could be a productive receiving option for this team. I don't think he has the tenacity to, or really the want to be a great blocker, but I think he can get it done. He has the size and the frame. Hopefully they can just kind of get it out of him. Overall, though, as a receiving option, I think he's just going to be a really nice, seamless fit. So for me, it gets like a B-. It wasn't like an overly, oh my gosh, type of pick. But I also think like you got good value. Like he's he'll be a good tight end for this team. And, for a team that wants to continue to get younger, Ferguson will be a part of this core in the tight end room for, hopefully 5, 6, 7 years beyond.
Yeah, I think the draft comes down to a lot of picks where you go, hey, if Adam Gase takes a tight end in the second we thought was a 3rd or a 4th round pick, we go, dumbass, that's an F- of a pick. But if Sean McVay takes Terrence Ferguson in the second, we're kind of cooking with gas now. We like this pick a lot. I'm right there with you, man. It's like a B for me, a B- for Metro. Anything else on Terrence before we go to Josiah?
No, I mean, we could talk about Josiah, but again, it's a good pick. Like he'll be Tyler Higbee's replacement. He'll be the future guy at tight end. And what'll be nice is you'll get a young quarterback either next year or the year after that gets to step into an offense with a lot of younger pieces, but a lot of dudes who played some football, like a Ferguson, like a Puka, like a Kyron, like a Jared Verse, and so on and so forth. So it's a great landing spot for him to fall into. And, if you're Ferguson, you should be thanking God that you're a Ram, because there's a lot of other spots you could have gone to that would have been a lot worse.
Well said, man. For this next pick in the 3rd round, we have Josiah Stewart, the Michigan edge rusher. Mm-hmm. And I just want to mention real quick with these first 2 picks, the Rams set the tone. What do you mean by that, Cade? I mean, when a team wants to start winning right now, you can tell with the capital that they use. Josiah Stewart is 6'1", 249, and a speedster edge rusher. By no means is he a project. He is ready to go on day 1 in the NFL. Terrence Ferguson, same thing. You need a tight end, you got a tight end. Maybe you could take a guy with high upside there, but what's the point when we need to win right now? Josiah Stewart, with Verse on the edge, they're going to really offset in a very nice way. He brings the speed, Verse brings the power. Watch the hell out. I'm looking forward to this wombo combo off the edge. These 3rd downs should be exciting. I give this pick like an A in my opinion. I think it fits a team like the Rams really, really well and just bolsters their 3rd down pass rush. What did you think, Metro, in your eyes?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I like this pickup too. It was a little bit weird for me. I understand why they took the pick. Michael Hope left to go to the Bills, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think it was the Bills, though. So they needed to find a replacement for him, and you lose out on his production. You bring in Stewart. Stewart's MO is, I'm going to not put my hand in the dirt. I'm going to be in an outside linebacker stance. I'm going to be so far outside of the tackle that I'm just going to have as much space to operate and just completely run down the quarterback. And he did so quite a bunch for Michigan. I'm not the highest on Josiah. I do like the pick, though. I mean, round 3, pick 90, and that's good value for a guy who can get to the quarterback. I do worry a little bit about some technique issues. I think he's a little overly reliant on his athleticism. So that'll be stuff they'll have to get, of course, checked out. But he is a really good athlete that if you give him a runway, he can cause some havoc. So good pickup. You pair him up with Jared Verse, Byron Young, and all the dudes up the middle. Defensive line last year was good. Let's just throw even more bodies in there. Why not? Let's just have more fun. So good pickup. I'll say this, though. I would have liked to have seen a linebacker in one of those spots. I know they took Chris Paul, which we'll talk about in a moment because I did like that pickup. But I would have liked to have seen a linebacker and maybe another corner. But, it's hard to be mad when you get 2 players that both will get rotational starts for you. So thumbs up for me.
Heck yeah. Thumbs up for Metro. Thumbs up from me. 4th round, we have Jarquez Hunter, the Auburn running back. And guys, I like to be honest with you because if I didn't watch their film, I'll tell you, I didn't watch Jarquez Hunter, and I watched 150 guys, and that's not to say he's bad. I just didn't get to his tape. So, Metro, did you watch his tape? Do you want to cover Jarquez for me here, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of him. Look, Jarquez is he's kind of a similar back to what they already have, sort of this smaller, bruiser style guy. I think Jarquez has some home run ability a little bit, but I don't know. He can catch the ball, I guess. I just kind of feel like he's a little bit redundant with what they already have now. And again, this goes back to what I just said. I felt like a linebacker and corner was a bigger need than running back. You took Blake Corum last year. You already have Kyron Williams. Just kind of felt a little bit weird to take a guy who is a similar back in some ways. He has some differences too, of course, but I would have preferred to have seen, I can't remember who was on the board here, but one of those linebackers be taken, or a corner, as I mentioned. But again, it's just, I can't speak to how the board was for them. Maybe they had Jarquez as a top 75 player, and if that's the case, then it's really hard to be mad at them. It's just, for me, you got two running backs who I think are both on rookie deals. Didn't really have to get a third one. That just feels a bit like overdoing it. So if you're a Kyron fantasy owner, just be a little bit cautious, because maybe Jarquez and Blake eat up a little bit of his snaps now, because they got to use them eventually.
Yeah, I feel that completely, man. It feels like almost like leverage for Kyron's contract. And Metro, I like to play a game usually in the draft because I'm a couch GM and I don't know shit like these scouts do. But I think I know a lot during the draft. So with that being said, if I flip Chris Paul Jr. in the 5th round and Jarquez Hunter in the 4th, you flip those two picks, whatever their spots are at, to the new spots, I like that more. Where Chris Paul goes in the 4th and Jarquez Hunter goes in the 5th. Either way, I think the picks are both just fine. I wasn't the biggest on Jarquez because I didn't see his tape. I thought he was just kind of underwhelming from what I did see. So first two picks I love. Third one was like a meh for me. Do you want to go to Ty Hamilton?
Yeah, I mean, Ty Hamilton, big run stuffer up the middle. He can get to the quarterback here and there. He's going to line up for this team as a nose tackle, plug up holes. He doesn't miss tackles very often. Like, this dude's just kind of just one of those big, beefy guys up the middle. And then Chris Paul, or I think they called him Pooh Paul Jr., not sure why, but maybe there's a reason for it. Look, he's a smart guy. He's a little bit undersized, and I wouldn't say he's the freakiest of athletes, but he's just a really smart dude. He's one of those guys that you just are going to buy in on because he just makes plays. He can get downhill, solid in coverage. Size-wise, he's not going to, lay the hammer on anyone, or he's not going to, when a lineman gets a free look at him, probably going to get blocked in that play because he's not very big, but I think he's good enough to get the job done. And they have some young guys in that linebacking core with Troy Reader, Omar Spates, and Nate Landman. We'll see if Pooh Paul can get in there, but I was a pretty big fan of the Chris Paul pick in round 172. By the way, I think the actual Chris Paul has a kid who's, I think, also named Chris Paul. So
who would have thought? So many Chris Pauls out there. So many.
Who knows? And then
who knows?
Kenoda Munfield, I don't know if you watched his tape. I did not watch his tape.
Have not, but I can tell you when the Rams take a wide receiver late, we all
it works out.
Attention now. Yeah, we pay attention to that shit, man. 7th round, Kenoda Munfield, Pittsburgh wide receiver. From what I can read here on ESPN, he did not run well at the combine, but he had a 15.6 yards per catch last season. Hey, Rams like him, I like him. This is your final draft class. Metro, one final question, actually two just for you. Give me your favorite value pick on the board, and also what was your grade for this draft for the Rams?
Value pick, I'll stick with Chris Paul Jr. We'll see if he makes an impact this year or if it's more of a down the what's the word I'm looking for? Down the hill sort of. I don't know. We'll see if it happens this year or in future years. We'll see. What would your second question is, what would I grade this draft?
Yeah.
Not my favorite draft. Obviously, I'm going to take into account the fact you got an extra first-round pick next year, which is probably going to lead you to potentially taking a quarterback. So that pushes my grade up a few spots. I thought they started the draft okay, getting Ferguson. Not talking about the trade here, just the players themselves. Getting Ferguson, getting Josiah Stewart. Didn't love the 3rd or the 4th-round pick on the running back, but it's a 4th-round pick, so it's not world-ending or anything. I'll give it a B. I think there's enough talent here. Add on that first-round pick. I think you get 2, maybe 3 guys that will be a part of your rotation. Maybe 4 if Ty Hamilton can get in there. But it wasn't like, oh, wow, we got Donovan Ezaraku, we got Shavon Ravel, we got Travis Hunter on our team now. It's like, no, we got Terrence Ferguson and Josiah Stewart. It's like, it's cool,
This is all right.
But then you say, hey, we got Atlanta's first as well. It's like, oh, hey, we're listening now, man. We're listening now.
Up.
So you take away the trade. If they just didn't get the first rounder, then it's probably a C. But you add in the first round pick, it's like, all right, we back up now. We good now. So I'll give it a thumbs up. It's definitely not a thumbs down. It's a thumbs up.
I'm completely man there. It's like a C plus if there's no trade. With the trade, you talk about the combo of being ready for the future without Matthew Stafford and also prepping to win right now with Terrence and Josiah Stewart. I like the draft. I like the direction. They know who they are, and they are sticking to it. Give me a B plus for the grade, and then without the trade, call it like a C just because I didn't love all of the back picks behind Josiah Stewart. Metro, anything else? Go ahead, King.
Oh, yep. I was going to say, they did take Willie Lampkin, who, if you don't know who Willie is, man, this dude is a 5'11" offensive lineman that is an absolute monster. He's an absolute demon, but he's just a tiny little guy. It's kind of weird. I shouldn't say that. I'm 5'11". What am I talking about? He's a big ass dude. What am I talking about? But no, he's a 5'11" offensive lineman. He's gonna look really funny when he's lined up next to like an Alaric Jackson, who Alaric's like 6'7" or something like that. Yeah, 6'7" is gonna be like, oh my gosh, it doesn't look right. But this dude he could play, man. So I'm glad he got a chance. Hopefully he can stick in. He's probably gonna have to play center, which by the way they need a center. So. We'll see. If there was one position where you could be a little bit shorter in, it would be center. I just think being 5'11" is very hard to overcome, especially as an offensive lineman. If you're a linebacker, okay, cool, we can work with that. As an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, it's a little bit harder.
I am team Willie Lampkin. I watched him go at the Senior Bowl and just kick some ass and hold his own against some guys who were 6'7", 300. So if he can do it there, I think he can figure it out in the league. But we will see here in camp. I hope he makes the roster. That would be absolutely sweet. Is it time to review this roster, Metro? Offense, then defense?
Yes, let's start off with this offense.
Let's do it, man. Let's go through the full offensive starters. At QB, we have fresh off the ski trip, Matthew Stafford. Running back, Kyron Williams. Wide receivers, we got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. My God, that's a nice combo. And Tutu Atwell. Tight end, Tyler Higbee, and their backup now in Terrence Ferguson, their second-round pick. Left tackle, Alaric Jackson. Left guard, Steve Avila. Center, Coleman Shelton. Right guard, Kevin Dotson. Right tackle, Rob Havenstein. And this squad is ready to go. You look at this team without Devontae Adams, you're like, you know what? He's pretty good. He's pretty good. With Devontae Adams, yeah, he's kind of unk right now. I understand maybe he regresses. I'm super excited. Like you mentioned, the OBJ was like a perfect comp. Yeah, he's older, but I think Devontae Adams has way more to offer than OBJ did back in the day. Oh, yeah. What say you? What would you grade this offense from a 1 to 10, 5 being league average?
It's hard to find a better unit, to be honest with you. They just don't really have too many like glaring issues. I'm trying to look at their offensive line to see if there's like a weak link here. And I'm not really seeing anything. I'm just trying to make sure there's no outliers here, but PFF gives them good grades. Everything that I know about them is good. Man, I mean, it just comes down to health more than anything. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know what just fell. Matthew Stafford is the guy, though, that you're going to have to kind of check on. He's the dude that can get injured sometimes. You don't never know. So if Stafford can stay healthy and the rest of his offense can stay healthy, I'm not overly worried about everything. Kyron misses time here and there. Blake Corum, you have a trio of running backs now that all kind of do the same thing. So we'll wait and see on that one. I'll give a quick little shout out. My Texas guy, Jordan Whittington. He's going to play a role on this team. He played a little bit of a role last year. He's going to play an even bigger role this upcoming season. So him, Puka, Devontae, Tutu. We'll see what Mumfield can do as well. Good receiving core. One of my favorite things about the Adams-Nacua fit is just Nacua can kind of do all sorts of things underneath in the intermediate game. Whereas Devontae can work a bit more downfield. He can also work in some comeback routes, work in the underneath a little bit. I think Devontae is going to work primarily as like an intermediate to deep threat, and Puka is going to work a bit more in the underneath and intermediate game, while also, of course, doing some signature plays, like Puka Nacua does. So you also pair that with the Ferguson, who can get downfield, work in the middle, and a stellar offensive line. Maybe a center is a bit of weakness for them. They have Coleman Shelton there, and they also have Bo Limmer, and we'll see about Lampkin, but they don't really have a hole. I think they addressed their biggest issues, which was a wide receiver 2 and a tight end, and they kind of addressed both those issues. So it's a damn good offense. I'm going to say it's an A, probably an A offense.
I love that, Metro. I love that. You gave a shout-out to your boy, Jordan Whittington. I got to give a shout-out to the third string left tackle, A.J. Akiri. He was the starting left tackle at Michigan State. when I was there and I was a little scout team player, and he used to toss my salad every single Tuesday an inside run. But Gentle Giant, great dude. Love that guy. Just had to shout him out. Love me some AJ. Yeah, man, this offense is sick, okay? You got all the pieces. Matthew Stafford, when he's in the zone, nobody's scarier. This guy's an absolute demon. The O-line looks strong. The wide receiver group got an upgrade. And the running backs are deep. Kyron, Blake Corum, and Jarquez Hunter. You're like, okay, there's no elite players. That's fine. We don't need it. We got a rotation of backs we really, really like here. I love this team, man. Feeling really good, feeling really strong. And the best part of this team, the superpower, the guy who's calling the plays, and Sean McVay. I think the ceiling is the damn moon. Anything else you want to mention on this offense?
No, I mean, as you said, Sean McVay is like the ultimate equalizer. When talent's equal, it comes down to play callers, and you have one of the best play callers out there in Sean McVay. So it's a complete unit, and they're going to be a top 10 unit probably next year. I think statistically they'll be a lot better than what they were last year. So expect this unit to make a deep run in the playoffs. We'll get to that here in just a moment.
Sweet. Now let's hit the defense. They run a base 3-4. Here we go down the list. Here's the starting defensive roster. At D end, we got Braden Fisk. Nose tackle, we got Poona Ford, fresh off the signing. Right defensive end, we got Kobe Turner. Where do they? Oh, there they got him, obviously. I was like, where's our boy Jared Verse? At linebacker, we got Byron Young. At linebacker, we got Troy Reeder, Omar Spites, and then Jared Verse. Corner, we got Darius Williams. Strong safety, Cameron Curl. Free safety, Cameron Kitchens. Cornerback, Akilo Witherspoon. And then nickelback, we got Quentin Lake. This squad is third down hell. You got Jared Verse and Fisk off the edge. Then, of course, Byron Young doing damage as well. Can't forget Kobe Turner, too. I love this squad, man. The addition of Poona Ford is such a good football move. You're talking about winning first down, putting them to a 2nd and 8, and maybe they get like a yard or two from there. Now it's 3rd and 5. Those 3rd and 3s and 3rd and 2s turn into 3rd and 5s and 3rd and 6s. The pass rushers get to go. That's the difference. They can truly rush up the field. They don't have to worry about holding the line of scrimmage. I love it. I'm fired up. This squad is like an A- to B+ in my eyes. Not a ton of huge names, but I like the synergy they have and the football team overall.
Yeah, this is a team that can come at you in a multitude of ways. I think they have some solid corners to get the job done. They have some pass rushers that are dynamic. What's interesting is you think about Jared Verse, and I'm using ESPN stats here, which ESPN stats are different from other stats. Like PFF has Verse down for 6 sacks. ESPN only has him down for 4.5, so keep that in mind. They have 3 dudes all over 7.5 sacks. Braden Fisk, 8.5. Kobe Turner, 8. Byron Young, 7.5. And then Verse, who's like the guy who we expect to take that massive jump because he was incredible last year. Got to the quarterback so often, but just couldn't complete it sometimes. Only 4.5 sacks. I mean, let's be honest. Verse will get closer to 10. Fisk, if he could stay above that 7 range, would be awesome. And then you got another bunch of guys who can get after the quarterback. Now throw in a Josiah Stewart. Throw in some improvements in the secondary because they're developing. I think the defense is a bit more of the weaker spot compared to the offense. I think the offense is awesome as hell and great. I think the defense has a awesome front four that can get to the quarterback. I think the linebackers are a little unproven, but very talented. Secondary-wise, I think they're fine, but they're not, perfect. So I think there's a lot of more work that needs to be done. But I think they're totally fine for now. So I like this defense. I do worry about them in those big-time matchups where they got to go up against a Saquon or, one of those dudes. But, I mean, they made it pretty darn close last year, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see.
Metro, final grade for this team, 1 to 10, 5 league average. You're combining offense and defense. Where do you put them on your scale for the NFL?
The defense specifically?
Yep. Oh, no, full team, including defense and offense.
Okay, full team. Good question. I would say if I'm going 1 through 10, they're at about an 8.5 to 9, which would be very high compared to a lot of other teams.
Extremely.
I think their offense is about a 9. I think their defense is about a 7.5, which is still in the upper echelon of the NFL. That's like a top 12-ish unit, which they might be top 10 next year. I'm going to say probably like 11 or 12. And again, I say this almost every video, but to me, you got to be a top 10 offense and top 10 defense to win a title. I think they have a top 10 offense. This defense can become top 10, then there's a lot of fun conversations to have.
What makes it top 10? Is it the Jared Verse development? Is it someone else? What do you think?
Yeah, it could be the Jared Verse thing. I think for me, it would take one of these linebackers, Omar, Troy, Nate, Chris, one of those four to stand out and really take over that room. And then one of these corners to, be that lockdown guy. Like, hey, we need to stop Justin Jefferson on our 3rd and 10. We got to stop him. I think they have the guys now, but we'll see if they can consistently do it throughout the year. But I don't think they have any. They don't have any major holes. That's the nice thing. They're a very solid unit, very well built, great coach. Or what's the word I'm looking for? Is greatly a word? Greatly coached?
It is today.
It could be a word. It is a word. Yeah, they're greatly coached, and a lot of good things going for this team.
Hell yeah, brother. Metro, I think it's time for the best part of our show. We're going into the season and predicting every single game, but before we do that, guys, while we do love making content on this show for you together, we also have our own channels. Metro brings you awesome NFL analysis content at his channel. Check it out, Metro Sports in the description. Go subscribe down below, all things NFL analysis. This man, Metro, you got the shirt on. Look at this dude. He's a professional.
Look, I'm like a walking billboard. Go out, walk my dog, pump my shirt out.
This guy's promoting all the time. I absolutely love it. If you want to change the pace, you want more like NFL draft content or more subpar NFL content, I'm your guy. I talk college football, all the shit. In the description down below, Cade Rathbone. Thank you guys very much. And one more thing, if y'all enjoying the video, please drop a like. You're the man or woman. Let's keep it going. It's time, Metro, to predict the 2025 NFL season. Here's how it works, guys. I'm going to go through the season line by line, paint the picture. Honestly, you can close your eyes and just watch the movie play out because I'm going to feed you the info game by game. Metro will make every single pick. If I feel absolutely strongly about something, I'll say something, but honestly, this guy absolutely cooks. So here we go without further ado, and if we get to the playoffs, we'll talk playoffs. Here we go. It is Week 1, September 7th. We're playing the Houston Texans at home. They're coming to Los Angeles. It's going to be a 3 p.m. game. This is a good team in Houston to kick off the season. How does this one go down, Metro?
I feel like the Rams the past several years now have had these really tough Week 1 matchups. I feel like they've been Lions last year. Who was it in 2023? Seattle, that's never an easy one. I feel like they've always had pretty tough Week 1s. This is another one of those this is actually a really fun game on paper. I'm actually really excited to see how this one goes. I think the Rams are the better team, though. I think they're going to absolutely smoke that Texans offensive line. I think Week 1, new play caller, everyone's coming in confident. Then they get lined up with Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Josiah Stewart, and Kobe Turner. It's like, yep, we're cooked. And they're going to give up. I'm going to make a bold take here. I think they'll give up at least 6 sacks this game. CJ's going to be questioning things after this one.
Oof. Questioning all the things. Is that a W for the Rams I'm hearing?
That is a W for the Rams and an L for the Houston Texans.
Big W on Week 1. We go into Week 2 feeling high, feeling good. It's September 14th, mid-September. It's Sunday, and we're going on the road. We're going to Tennessee to play the Titans. It's noon on CBS. Cam Ward fighting for his life. How does this one go down, Metro?
Man, we did a Titans one earlier this year, and or just a few weeks ago probably, and I think when we looked at their schedule, it was like absolute carnage in terms of pass rushers to start their season off. They have Denver, they have the Rams, then they get the Colts, but then they get Will Anderson after that. Oh yeah, brutal. I mean, just Cam Ward's going to get an introduction to the NFL. That's going to be a tough one. That offensive line is improved, but there's still a couple questions that need to be answered there. They'll be better next year, but they're not going to be a competitive team with a lot of the better upper echelon squads. So just show up, come in there with a little bit of energy. Don't go out drinking. Don't be playing Pokemon Go on the sidelines. Just lock in for 4 hours, not even 4 hours, 1 hour, and you'll win the game.
2-0 right here. Just no fireball on the sidelines, and we're going to win this game. Going into Week 3, it's our old friend. Not a friend, it's an enemy. We're going to Philly to play the Eagles, the team we lost to in the playoffs. Noon game, Fox. This is what I'll have on the TV. Metro, how does this one go down?
I can't believe this is a noon game. This is terrible.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's a bummer. Oh man, that makes me sad.
It'll get flexed.
It better. Watch the week 3 afternoon game be like Dallas versus who would
Caleb Williams versus Bo Nix. It's like, what the hell are we doing?
It's like, okay, cool game, but we got Philly versus LA going on right now. These are like the 2 top NFC contenders. I hope it gets flexed. Regardless, though, no snow in Philadelphia, so that's either going to help the Rams or hurt the Rams. It's a tough one to predict. I think Philly's a good team. They lack some depth they had last year. There will be some new questions on the defense. I think the Rams could keep it competitive, but I just think that the Eagles are a little bit different right now, and I think the Eagles will pull off the win here.
Fat Ale, 2-1 going into week 4. What'd you say?
I just punched my mic.
It's okay. I didn't hear anything, so I think the audience is good too. If you're not, let us know in the comments. Week 4, we get a nice little break. It's September 28th, and we're going home to play the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones.
I'll let you answer this time. I answer it all the time. I'm gonna let you answer it. Who's playing quarterback for Indianapolis?
Bro, okay.
It doesn't matter. I think it does.
That's the honest truth.
I think it does. I mean, both are bad. It's a talented team though in Indianapolis.
I think this is AR's last game, and I don't want to put that on him, but he needs to be developed, and they're not going to develop him. And I think after this game, when they lose, because I'm going to just predict that, I don't think they'll let him go back out on the field. I think that's really messed up.
Yeah, I will say I think Richardson, he played the Rams I think his rookie year and had some success. Obviously, that feels like a lifetime ago. I want to believe in Richardson. I don't think it really matters who's at quarterback. Indianapolis is a very talented team, though, that will be very competitive this year, and they might pull off some wins. I think the Rams could pull off the win here, though. I'm going to predict the Rams to win.
3-1. We're feeling hot. We're going crazy right now. Going into week 5, it's October. The clock has turned. It's getting chilly out, and it's Thursday night football on Prime Video. And we're at home playing the San Francisco 49ers at 7:15. And Rams fans, as we know, okay, let's just keep it a buck. That's an away game for you because the 49ers show up in your stadium in California. There is no home field advantage here for anybody. It is pretty much a neutral site. How do you see this one going, Metro, on a Thursday night?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's going to be a mixed crowd. It's not like you're going to be hearing a lot of cheers. In fact, you might hear more boos than cheers when you score, which is crazy, by the way. I still think it's insane they moved the Rams and Chargers. Not that I'm mad about it too much.
Doesn't affect my life.
It is kind of weird. No, it doesn't affect my life. I could care less. But it is weird. I could imagine there are some St. Louis people out there that are pretty peeved about it. Mm-hmm. This is interesting because you're coming off a shortened week. So are the Niners. I do think the Rams are a better team. I think there's a lot of questions with the San Francisco team that need to be answered, and they could get answered by this point, and maybe they're totally fine. I'm going to predict the Rams to win. San Francisco's got a cakewalk of a schedule. They probably look at these Rams game and say, if we could win one, we're cool with it, but we don't really need to win these games because they can fall asleep at the wheel and still win 10 games next year.
I like that perspective, Metro. We're 4-1 on the season, riding high. Week 6. Hello. We go to the Baltimore Ravens house. It's going to be cold. Man. It's going to be chilly. October 12th, it's going to start getting really, really cold.
In Baltimore?
Not like cold, but this will be the first weather they felt all season, as I'll say. It'll be like the first brisk, it'll be like 50 degrees, chilly a little bit. For some 65. People who live in LA, that's a lot. Okay, that's all I'm saying. These guys are used to 80 every single day. You got to switch it up on them. They're not used to that. So this will be their first experience in weather. What do you think, Metro? How does this one go against Lamar Jackson?
Man, I got to be honest with you. I'm looking at their schedule, and I'm going to talk about some of the future matchups too. Okay. They actually have a pretty relatively easy schedule, but they have 4, maybe 6 if I'm including Arizona, but I'm not going to include Arizona right now. They have 4 matchups this year that I think they need to go 2-2 in. That's Philadelphia, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Detroit later on the board. And we'll see how good Arizona is. I'm not going to predict that quite yet. But right now there's about 4 games that are we got to split, right? We want to win these games to prove to ourselves that we are title contenders. We can compete with the best of the best. And this is one of those games here in Baltimore where you lose that Philadelphia game. Baltimore and Philadelphia are the 2 best teams on your schedule. You got to win one of these games. I don't like predicting against Baltimore because Baltimore's just that good of a team. But I'm going to predict against Baltimore. I'm going to give the win here to the Rams, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all.
Come on, man. 5-1 going into Week 7. It can't get better than that. Week 7, October 19th. We are back at home playing no, we're not. Jacksonville Jaguars with a star on it. Which country are we going to this time at 8:30 a.m.? It's got to be Europe, right?
Are going to Wembley Stadium.
Wembley Stadium. We are going to London. Fire me up, boys. 8:30 kickoff. Set your calendar. If you got Devontae Adams on the fantasy team, you're going to wake up livid if he's out for the game. Oh, always good times. Who wins this one, Metro in London? Airfare, not airfare, but like that jet lag is a thing with older players, and they go away from their families, and it throws them off schedule and their routine. Does that contribute here? Can the Jacksonville Jaguars get the best of this squad?
The Jags are 6-5 in games in London, which is, I think, like, it's weird that Jacksonville is the one team that gets that London game. Like,
bro, because let's be honest, they're going. They're going.
You think so? It wouldn't be surprising.
Travis Hunter's
if there was a team,
crumpets and sipping tea here in a couple months. Let's be honest, bro.
But Jacksonville's a big enough market, I feel like. It's in Florida. You're not going to move a Florida team. How many teams are in Florida? You got the Dolphins, the Bucks, the Jags. 3. Maybe. I could see it. I wouldn't like that. I would not like it.
I wouldn't like it either.
The London Jaguars.
They're forcing it.
That's kind of cool, actually. I kind of like that. Jacksonville. I would actually predict Jacksonville to win this game if they had a better record in London games. But they're 6-5, and they got beat like 42-10 in one of those games too, and they've been beat a couple of times there. So I'm gonna predict the Rams to win. Although I think Jacksonville can keep this one sneaky close.
6-1 going into the bye week. It's week 8, kind of a perfect bye week. I mean, we got some tough wins out of there. We only lost to Philadelphia, which is rightfully so. We beat Baltimore. Really feeling good on our Super Bowl odds. Going into week 9, it's now November 2nd, and we are back at home, and the New Orleans Saints are rolling up to town. 3 p.m. game. Why are the Saints 3 p.m. and the Philadelphia Eagles noon? I will never know, but here we are. Who wins this game, Metro?
So is the Ravens game, by the way.
This is crazy, bro. I love noon games more anyways, so it works out for me.
The Saints game. I like what the Saints are doing. I think they're heading in the right direction now, which is like the first time I've said that in years, by the way. I've hated everything they've done, but I'm at least glad that they're trying something new with this Tyler Schott guy, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but could be worse. Could be Jackson Dart. Anyways, you get an extra bit of time from the bye week. I'm going to predict the Rams to beat the Saints. I think the Saints have some talented pieces. I think they actually have a young offensive line that I'm looking forward to. But I do think the Rams are just the more experienced team. They can get after the quarterback. They should have really no issues winning this one.
7-1. God, that sounds good. We're absolutely killing it, boys. Week 10 on the road. We're going to San Francisco, and we got them last time. Can we sweep them with the broom in Game 2? It's 3 p.m. How does this one go down, Metro?
San Francisco still, if they still feel like they're the top dog of this division. Not saying they will be this year, but they've been pretty good in this division the past couple of years. I think San Francisco pulls off the win here. I think they maybe are starting to put things together. McCaffrey's feeling good. Ayuk's feeling good. They're healthier. There's some more continuity, some more chemistry. It feels like at some point there will be a bit of a stinker here from the Rams, and maybe this could be the game.
Pain everywhere. It's okay, though. We're 7-2. We're still in a good spot. Week 11 and another in-divisional opponent. It's November 16th. We're at home playing the Seattle Seahawks. 3 p.m. game. Seahawks are feisty this year. The defense is looking good. Mac McDonald, mastermind on the defensive end of the ball. Is it enough to beat the Rams at home? What say you, Metro?
This is a tough one. I am going to predict the Rams to win, but I think both the Seattle games will be very close, as they typically are. Seattle's a very competitive and feisty team, and they have a nice defensive-minded head coach with some new pieces on the defense. It'll be interesting, but I'm going to give the win to the Rams here.
8-2. My God, we're going crazy. Week 12. This might be the hardest matchup, one of the hardest matchups throughout the rest of the season. It's kind of a cakewalk, to be honest. There's a couple teams here, don't get me wrong, but no big, bad teams like the Philly Eagles. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. Tampa Bay is no team to mess with, and that's why we're playing them on Sunday Night Football. Baker feeling dangerous, and so is Matthew Stafford. This is where Baker rekindled his career. Kind of cool, honestly, to run it back. Who wins this game?
Interesting. I'm gonna give the win to the Bucks. I like what they're building. I think the Rams are the better team, but it's one of those games that can be a coin toss on specific nights. It is in LA, but I don't think Baker cares. Baker's just an absolute savage. So he might throw 5 picks this game, but he'll throw 10 touchdowns. I'm gonna give the win to the Buccaneers.
Baker's staying dangerous. We're 8-3 on the season. Week 13, the very end of November. It's the 30th. We're going to Carolina to play the Panthers and Bryce Young. It's a noon game. Metro, weather is now starting to be a factor if you're not used to it. But we played in snow last year, so who gives a shit? But here we are. Who wins this game?
Yeah, you don't got to worry about weather here in South or North Carolina. I think it's North.
It's North.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Carolina's a good team. They'll be competitive next year, but they're not going to be able to beat the Rams. So I'm going to give the win to the Rams.
Big W. We're now 9-3. Here we go on the season. Week 14, we're going to the Cardinals. And Metro, you know I'm kind of about the Cardinals this year. They're kind of one of the teams I think will take a huge jump in 2025. But I'm not grading this season. You are. Who wins this game?
The Cardinals threw a bit of a punch last year to the Rams' face, and it'll be interesting to see if the Rams kind of hold that against them. I'm going to give the win here to the Cardinals, though. I love what they're building. It's at Arizona. I think there'll be some good progress made from Marvin and Kyler, and the defense will be clicking at this stage. This is kind of a bad time to catch this Cardinals team. You have 2 matchups late in the season, and I think that's really when they're going to pick things up a little bit.
It's a good point, man. Next game, it is Week 15, and we are at home in the Detroit Lions, and Jared Goff rolling into town. 3 p.m. game. We got it right, guys, finally. Who wins this on Fox?
It's like a yearly event here, Detroit versus LA. It feels like we've been getting this game a lot lately, but they're always so good. This game will be awesome. I'm going to give the win to the Rams. I think the Rams are not going to lose back-to-backs this year, and so I think they lose to the Cardinals. They need a bounce-back win. They need to find a way to go 2-2 in their big 4 that I talked about. And they managed it. They beat the Lions and they beat the Ravens, but they lose to the Bucks and the Eagles. So I'm going to give the win here to the LA Rams.
Very nice. Here we are. We are now, is that 10-4? We're going crazy. We're going into Week 16, and we are at Seattle. As we mentioned, now this is finally like, Metro, this is actually a weather game, man. Seattle in December is going to be chilly. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy, and it's going to be loud. Oh, and it's Thursday Night Football. Who wins this game? It's going to be packed.
Yeah, this is a tough one here for the Rams. They're going to have to overcome a lot of adversity. It's a close game from their Detroit matchup. You're going to Seattle. That crowd is crazy, especially if they're good at this time next year. The Seattle Seahawks might be fighting for a wild card spot, or maybe the division. You never know. I'm going to give the win here to the LA Rams. Had to pause for some tension. I'm going to give the win to the Rams.
Whew. I love it. We are going into Week 17, and we are on the road playing the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football. December 29th. It's going to be it's pretty late in the season. We got 1 game left after this. This is a big one for playoff seeding. Who pulls it out?
Yeah, if you are the Rams, you want to head into the postseason with some momentum. You want to head into the postseason with some momentum. You want to win these games. You don't want to lose. You don't want to stumble. And I think that this Atlanta game is a tough one. I am going to give the win to the Rams, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Penix is going to push them to their limits, but I think the Rams will find a way to win.
This game, by the way, late in the season like this is an absolute must win. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. We have their first round pick in 2026. I want that quarterback to be sweet as possible. That could be a 3-game slide when it comes down to these ass teams in the back of the NFL. Not saying they're going to be ass, but it's potentially there. So, as Metro mentioned, big stakes on the line. We are now 12-4 going into Week 18, and we're playing the Cardinals at home. This is a challenging matchup. This is a playoff matchup before the playoffs start in my eyes. What do you say, Metro? How does this one finish?
I think the last 5 matchups have been playoff caliber teams. Not saying that any of these teams besides Detroit are title contenders, but Arizona's a competitive squad. Detroit, obviously. Seattle will be. Atlanta will be. These are some competitive teams here. So their schedule does get a little bit difficult down the backstretch. But if they can go 3-2 or 4-1 in this stretch, you'll feel really good. They lost to the Cardinals in Week 14. It'll be interesting. 12-4, one more game. Is this for the division? Is this for playoff seeding? Is this just for momentum? Is there nothing to gain and you're sitting your starters? I think there is something to play for still here. Maybe it's seeding. Maybe it's a bye. Maybe it's the division. I'm not sure. But I'm going to give the win here to the LA Rams. I've talked about it. Got to build momentum. You just now, I think you won 4 straight. You're heading into the postseason with confidence, and you're feeling pretty darn good.
13-4 is our final record, which means playoffs. We're talking playoffs? Yeah, we are. The Rams are in the playoffs, and Metro, it's time for us to play the guesstimate game. Where do we think they seed in the playoffs with a 13-4 record, and who do they likely play? Let's play out the scenario and see how far they go in the NFC race. Metro, what seed do you think they are at 13-4? Like 3, 2? What you thinking right now?
Well, they're definitely, if they're 13-4, they're going to win the division. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think San Francisco gets the 13. I don't think Arizona nor Seattle will either. They're not going to be the 4th seed because I think the Buccaneers will win the NFC South, either them or Atlanta. They'll probably be the 4th or 3rd. The North will be an absolute fist fight, so I don't think that any of those teams are going to get inside the top, probably top 1 or 2. I mean, maybe the Lions could if they can really piece things together. But they just lost Levi Onwuzurike, by the way, which is
I saw that, man. So much pain.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. And they've had a tough offseason, if we're just being honest here. So I still think they're good, though. But I just don't see 13-4 for any of these teams, even though I like what they're building. To me, it comes down to the Eagles and the Rams. Do the Eagles have a better record? Are they the 1 seed? The Eagles do have the tiebreaker. So I'm just going to give the Eagles the 1 seed. I'm going to give the Rams the 2 seed, which means the Rams will be then going up against the 7th seed, which could be the Cowboys, maybe the Commanders, maybe the Falcons, maybe the Seahawks, maybe the Cardinals. Could be any of the NFC North teams. Who do you think is that 7th seed?
I would like to petition the Cardinals here because it's extra fun for the division, and I think they are uber talented.
So who do you think will get the 5th and 6th seed then?
5th and 6th? I think
if we assume Philly wins, let's say the Lions win, let's say the Bucks win, and let's say the Rams win.
I think Packers get in.
4. Okay.
I think Tampa wins the division. That's what you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one else gets in there. I think it goes Green Bay. I think it goes Commanders. I think it goes Cardinals. Those are my 3.
Okay. I would not hate that at all. Yeah, that's totally fair. So you got the Cardinals running back to town. You split them 1-1. Man, this would be a fun matchup, man. This would be fun.
Want me to set this for you, man?
Set the table for me. Set up the matchup. Set up the story.
Wild card weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday, the best weekend of the year in my eyes. And we have the Cardinals going to the Rams' house to play them on Saturday Night Football. In divisional throwdown, here we go. We got Kyler Murray, the Call of Duty superstar, and Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion. How does this one shake down? The Cardinals, young and feisty, and they also beat them once this year. The Rams, looking to make another Super Bowl run before Matthew Stafford sunsets on his career. Metro, how does it go down, and who wins by how many points?
Am I tripping or my eyes really red?
Red? I can't tell here, but if you're hurting, we can always pause.
No, I'm good. I just think my eyes are dry. I don't have eye drops.
Get this man some drugs. Let him power through.
No, my mom might be watching. I'm not taking drugs, Mom, I promise.
No drugs.
No drugs. Just a little bit. Anyways, no, it's a tough one. You go 1-1. Kyler's coming in with some confidence. He's trying to make some noise in the playoffs. Hasn't really had much playoff success so far in his career, so it's a tough one. I'm going to predict the Rams to win. I think the Rams are one of the best teams in the NFC, if not maybe the best team in the NFC. This is if I'm going to give an odds as to who to win, I'll go 65% Rams, 35% Cardinals. So that's a decent chunk right there for the Cardinals, and maybe they could pull off the upset. But I'm going to pick the Rams here.
Hell yeah, brother. So, if we're the 2 seed and we win and we beat down on the Cardinals, that means the 1 seed in the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take the worst team left left. And we'll probably take another divisional winner team, so 3 or 4 seed is likely who we play 90% of the time. The question is, which one? I would say it's very likely, based off record, I think the Bucks are going to clean up this year and have that 3 seed, and the Lions are in an absolute dogfight in the North, and it's going to be scrappier to get those in-divisional wins. I think the Bucks is likely who will play here. What say you?
Think the Bucks beat the Commanders? Because that'll be the matchup. They lost them last year in the playoffs.
How bad was that? I forget.
It wasn't that bad. It was a really close game. It was like 22-28, maybe. Let me see. It was 23-20.
I like the Bucks. I don't know about you, man. I think there's a thing to these sophomore slumps, and I'm not trying to prey on anybody's downfall. My goodness, we got it out. But it's just what happens, man. They get filmed, these D coordinators, and y'all think they're on vacation in Cabo in July? Hell no. They've been watching Jaden Daniels tape all weekend long, not talking to their families, not talking to their wives, because they got to beat this guy to get paid. And the Bucks will be ready, and I think they can beat the Commanders here. So you want to go Bucks and our guys, the Rams, here in the second playoff?
Yeah, let's do it. The Bucks got the better of them. Yep, no, go for it. They beat them in the regular season.
Shut the hell up, man. Just give me the game.
Nope, you got it. Go for it.
It's the divisional week. Here we go. It's the Bucks and the Rams. Who wins?
What was the build for it? I'm expecting a whole story here. All right, I'll build the story. You get a Week 12 win for Tampa Bay over the Rams. You got Baker versus Matthew Stafford. Didn't these two teams play in the playoffs like 2 years ago?
Let me see. Let me do my research. Keep talking,
2023. No, they did not. Maybe it was last year. I think it was last year. No, it wasn't. It was not last year. I'm tripping. Anyways, doesn't matter.
It says 22.
Okay. Really?
Yep.
That was with Tom Brady.
That's crazy. Yeah. They won the Super Bowl that year. He beat Tom Brady to go to the Super Bowl divisional round.
2021. Yeah, we have 2020. Yeah. How times have changed, man. You got Stafford versus Brady. Now you got Stafford versus Baker. You lose them in the regular season. I think you need to beat them in the playoffs. This is the year for your team. If you can stay healthy, you have the pass rushers. We'll see what Wirfs looks like. He's out with some injuries right now. Devontae should cook in the back in the receiving core. You got some running backs. It'll be a fun game. I think that these are two very close, like very tight matchups. Just think that the team with more concerns is Tampa Bay, so I think the Rams will win this one.
Let's effing go. We're on to the final battle, the NFC Championship. And let's be real, Metro. It's going to be the Eagles, right? Are we feeling any kind of way about the Lions or something, or what are we thinking?
We can run through both. We'll just say Eagles and Lions. Eagles/Lions. They're probably both the favorites to be in there somehow.
Cool. I'll paint two quick pictures. Lions, Rams. Bro, talk about the sickest NFC championship in a long time. Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford battling to go to the Super Bowl. One has already been there. One also has been there too, now that I say it like that. But the Lions haven't been in a hot minute or ever. It's going to be a fun one. Who wins this game, Metro? It would likely be in Detroit. No, it'd be in L.A. It would be in L.A. The L.A. chart. Dude, look at the L.A. Rams and the Detroit Lions throwing down. Who wins this, Metro?
I hate to predict this. This sucks. I like both teams a lot. I do think the Lions have a lot of questions, but if they are making the NFC Championship game, then they probably answered those questions. Cade's a Lions fan, by the way, so ignore him. He's biased. He wants the Lions to win here. I have no personal preference. I think both teams are good. I think the Rams have a title. The Lions don't. I would be rooting for the Lions, but I would not be mad if the Rams won. But give me the Rams.
I mean, hell yeah, let's go. Big win right here for the Rams. Rams beat down the Detroit Lions, and they go on to the Super Bowl. Let's forget the Eagles. They probably lose to the Eagles, right? Is that what you're going to say?
No, I think it could be close. I would favor the Eagles. It'll be a 60, probably the same as the Cardinals, 65 Eagles, 35 Rams. But I mean, look, the Eagles, they lost a lot this offseason, so it's not the same game. They lost a lot of pieces, and they addressed some of their problems. But I mean, it's Philadelphia, man. They're a damn good team.
It's Philly. So Philly's like you're probably going to lose just because they got the little bit of an edge on you. And then the Lions, we think, is winnable, and you get in. And let's play the Super Bowl game, because why not? You are in the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford is back in the saddle. The Rams are ready to go. And the Super Bowl this year, Super Bowl City is we were just in New Orleans. What's 2026, Cade? Tell me, the Super Bowl city is Santa Clara, California, in Levi Stadium, our divisional rival. And it's going to go down against, if we had to predict, Metro, let's just be honest. We don't want to say it, but it's going to be the KC Chiefs, am I right?
Yeah, it'll be either the Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens, but it's hard to predict against the Chiefs, if I'm being honest with you.
Let's keep it a buck. Most likely, 9% of the time, it's going to be the Chiefs. And let's run it back. The Chiefs are throwing down in California against the Rams. The Rams just go down the road. This isn't even that far for them. It's going to be a battle to the end. Matthew Stafford won his Super Bowl against the Cincinnati Bengals. Has never played our man, Patrick Mahomes, in the playoffs. But here we are. Who wins this game, Metro? By how much? Does it come down to a 2-minute drive, and who has the ball in their hands?
Can I ask who's going to have the home field advantage? I feel like it might be Kansas City.
It would be Kansas City. I mean, it's no offense to any Rams fans out there. They moved your city. When you have home games against close cities, they fill it up. I just haven't seen the presence. I want you to prove me wrong. That's just kind of where I stand.
Yeah.
So KC's going to have the advantage.
There will be a lot of people from Taylor Swift and her fans. There'll be a lot of them over there, guys. I mean,
yes.
Look, hate to break it to you, LA. You might have home field advantage, but you really don't. I mean, Kansas City, they travel, and there's probably a lot of Kansas City fans, because of Kelsey and Taylor and even Mahomes in his own ways. Man, that's a tough matchup. I would hate to have to predict this one, which I might have to predict this one. In fact, I will have to predict this one because that's what I'm doing right now. I hate that I have to, though. I favor the Rams because I think they can get after the quarterback. But I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to predict against Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not going to in this one, so I'm going to say the Chiefs win.
Damn, bro. You should have spoiled it. Well, come on, man.
I know.
Come on. You're just edging these Ram fans to the very end.
I'm sorry.
You're just like, oh, no, all for nothing. I'm just kidding, guys. But let's be honest. Metro, that's the safest bet in the book. Patrick Mahomes makes it and wins the whole damn thing. But Rams fans, this is your scenario. Is there anything you would change about what we just said, Metro? I think it was a really good playoff picture, and I loved our way in and our path. I feel good about the Bucs. I feel good about the Cardinals. That could have gone a lot worse in my eyes.
Yep, and in this hypothetical scenario, you got to avoid Philadelphia, too. Maybe the Lions beat Philadelphia to get in. So that would be pretty interesting. I'll say this. If it's not Kansas City, maybe Baltimore gets in, maybe Buffalo. I would really like the Rams matchup versus Buffalo. I think they could win that one because they've had some close games, and that would be, oh my gosh, like a 50-point to 40-point game. It'd be crazy. Ravens game would also be very interesting, a matchup that we get to see earlier in the year. Could go either way. So the nice thing about this is, look, I think the Rams are one of the top contenders in the NFL. Maybe it's just my personal, bias in this, but I think a lot of people would agree. I look at the Rams and I say, okay, you got the Chiefs, you got the Eagles, you got the Ravens, you got the Bills. That's 4. That 5th, best team in the NFL, it's maybe the Rams, maybe the Lions, maybe the Broncos get in there, one of those teams. Maybe the Bucs get in there, but it feels like the Rams sort of have that upper hand here to enter into the elite upper echelon of the NFL. So I got faith in the Rams. I think they're going to be a damn good team, and I think they can make the Super Bowl this year.
When you look at playoff pictures like we just did, the AFC freaking stacked, man. Even their wild card teams, I'm terrified of, especially in the AFC West with Denver, Chiefs, and the Chargers. In the NFC, I'm feeling better. The Bucs, the Commies, and sorry, people don't like that. The Commanders and also the Cardinals. Those are winnable. What'd you say?
If the Commanders thing stays, who knows, man? A lot of stuff going in the air. It could be something different by the time we get to next year. We don't know.
You never know, bro. But the playoff path in the NFC is easier. And for a team like the Rams who aren't the damn best, that's how you make runs, and that's how you go all the way. The stars align, and you have a good enough roster to get to the final game to get into the big one. And I think they're in a really good position in 2025. And hopefully they're still playing a long time in 2026. Metro, anything else before we wrap this up today?
No, look, Rams fans, hopefully you're satisfied. If you're not, I don't know what you want me to say. I took you all the way to the Super Bowl, okay? I literally said you guys are Super Bowl contenders. So if you're going to be mad at me, don't be mad at me for that. Be mad at me for other reasons. Like, I don't know. The fact that I'm a Cowboys
is
fan.
a dumbass, and this channel sucks.
Oh,
Winky face?
That'd just be mean. Don't do that. Unless you want to. It actually helps the algorithm.
Yeah,
Rage
boost
bait
that
down
shit,
below.
man. Yeah. Whatever you want to say, let us know, man. I'll talk shit with you in the comments too. But guys, yeah, we love y'all so much, Rams fans. If you enjoyed this kind of video, please drop a like. It lets us know to make more content, deep dives just like this. We will take the time. We love talking about y'all's teams, and we love learning from fans. So fans, also, give us your perspective. We want to know what you actually think. Is this realistic? Are we being way too high on your team? Or are we way too low in your eyes, which I think is kind of crazy. But let us know what the fan perspective is, the guys who are in it every single day, down in the comments below. If you loved this video, drop a like, as I already mentioned. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you more than you know. Love you guys. Have the best day. Metro, say goodbye to the people.
Thank you guys for watching. By the way, this is our last official team preview of the offseason. We're finished.
Whoa. Unless y'all get pissed and want one more, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But we got a few divisional previews up ahead, so stay tuned for that. We'll be talking about your division soon, and then we'll talk more about the Rams. But hopefully you enjoyed. Peace out.